29 races, and it all comes down to this: a Saturday night shootout at USA International in Lakeland for the 2003 Hooters Pro Cup Series Championship. Shane Huffman has 2 wins in the championship series, as does first-year star Benny Gordon. 60 points separate the two, with one of the most lucrative short-track championships in history on the line tonight. Who will win? We'll find out next on Speed. The pageantry, the excitement, the color, and the drama of the season championship for the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series. Tonight, the Hooters 300 presented by Visti at USA International Speedway in Lakeland, Florida. I'm Rick Benjamin. Points leader Shane Huffman has won the Advanced Auto Parts Pole Award. He's with Steven.
He was quickest in practice. He was on the pole, and he won Peach State tonight at Lakeland. He comes out and sets a brand new track record. Now, Shane Huffman, you realize with all the success comes a tremendous amount of pressure. People expect you to live up to this now.
Well, you know, I'm just real fortunate to be driving these race cars. These Lakeland chassis has been awesome all year, and the Automotive Specialist motor, you know, they fixed us this new motor, and this thing really sells down the straightaways. I got to thank those guys, and you know, Jenny Air Turkey Store's been behind us all year. I've just been real lucky to be able to be here to drive these cars, you know, like I said, and you know, it is a lot of pressure to live up to, but you know, we're just going to race this race like the rest of them.
And pressure for the championship tonight as well, Rick.
Plenty of pressure indeed as we prepare to hear the words that'll get tonight's 300 lapper underway.
Start your engines.
Bill Sangster is the fleet manager of Michael Holley Chevrolet here in Lakeland. Our Grand Marshal tonight, Brian Trevor, a chilly night in Central Florida.
Well, hey, you know what? Those guys will be plenty warm behind the wheels, though, and as it heats up towards the end of this race with a championship and $250,000 at stake, I don't think anybody out there on the racetracks will be worried about the weather. The fans, on the other hand, well, we expect them to clap to keep warm. 41 drivers are in the show tonight. 300 laps on a 3/4 mile racetrack, by far the longest race of the year for these teams. Well, and why not? It's appropriate that a championship will be decided in a true test here at USA International. It's a track that everybody's familiar with. Most of these drivers and teams have been here, so it's not a mystery to them, but it's going to be a good test of what a champion will be made of here tonight.
Well, as we saw a few moments ago, the 2 title contenders left standing: Shane Huffman, who's on the pole in the 84 car, Benny Gordon, who's got 2 wins in the championship series. He starts back in the 4th row tonight. All Shane Huffman has to do is finish 9th or better to clinch the title on this pretty cold night.
Well, a perfect race by Benny Gordon would make Shane Huffman have to finish 7th or better. And by that, I mean lead every lap. The pole point has already gone away from him, so he has to lead laps. He has to take bonuses everywhere he can and win the race. That's Benny Gordon. But on the other hand, Shane Huffman, a little bit of cushion. You know, 7th, but anything can happen, especially in a long race like this. 300 laps, that's 300 chances for disaster.
Long straightaways on this 3/4 mile racetrack, as you saw a moment ago. Good amount of banking in the corners. This is a place that drivers love to come to. It's wide, plenty of room to pass.
And it's very racy. There's lots of positions that can be gained and lost, of course, and there's plenty of room to do a little bit of both. Pit road is also quite spacious, so the pit crews aren't all jammed up like they are at some of the shorter tracks we visit. You know, it's just a great place, and a great crowd has showed up to pay it homage.
Closing out Thanksgiving weekend, getting ready for the holiday season here. What better way to close out 2003, then to come to USA International and put a cap on the Hooters Pro Cup year in 2003. It's been a glorious season. Tonight we'll take a look back at some of the great moments in Hooters Pro Cup racing this past year. Right now, though, let's take a look at our Jackaroo Sauces starting lineup. On the pole, we met Shane Huffman in the 84. Clayton Rogers starts second from Mooresville in the Naturally Fresh Foods 16. Row number 2 on the inside, Mike Laughlin Jr. from Simpsonville, South Carolina. Clemens Investments Ford. Sean Studer is from Charlotte, the Bird's Eye Foods Chevrolet.
And on row number 3, Bobby Gill, the 3-time champion of the Hooters Pro Cup Series, takes his Triple Diamond Jet Center Ford with Marty Lindley in the Hooters Ford. And back on row number 4, Brian Ross, the U.S. Insurance Group Truck Specialist Ford Taurus. And there's rookie Benny Gordon going for the championship as well.
Fifth row has Jason Sarvis in the 22 from Myrtle Beach, the Black's Tire Ford. Curtis Davis is from Siler City, North Carolina, in the 8 car for his new sponsor, Trim Spa, out of Steve Husketh's shop. Row number 6, Danny O'Quinn Jr., the 02 from Coburg, Virginia, the Homesteader Trailer Chevy. Rookie Joel Kaufman out of Indiana. That's the LA West Chevrolet.
Former champion and rookie titleist Jeff Agnew takes the NGA Hooters Golf Tour Chevy off row number 7 with Joe Gaeta in the ACS Systems Ford. He's got a lot of fans down this part of the country. Won the season opener. Luke Hill goes on row 8 in the hose and hydraulic Delaney's Electric Motor Ford with Scott Baker, a rookie out of Talmadge, Ohio, in the Talmadge Asphalt entry.
Ninth row, Jay Fogelman in the 4 car from Durham, North Carolina, the Lucas Ford. David Buggy Fletcher from Mooresville, North Carolina, the RaceFansDating.com 51. Row 10, Martin Nesbitt from Asheville in the 92, the Jameson Inns Ford. Mario Goslin from Lake Wales, Florida, the Schaefer's Auto Auction 10 car.
Lynch Motorsports driver Hal Goodson goes on row number 11 with Dandy Don Satterfield and his familiar Hawksaw Blades number 1. Glenn Galt out of Ohio in the American Tile and Trust Company Chevy. Michael Rich in the Jackaroo Sauces Dodge.
13th row, Daniel Johnson in the 56. He's from Midland, North Carolina, the Charlotte Check Cashier's car. Stephen Christian from Beaufort, Georgia, in car number 2. That's the Lucas Oil Products Chevrolet. 14th row, Jason McClellan from Mount Forest, Ontario, Canada, the Arctic Clear Chevrolet. Billy Mowry is from Pinellas Park, Florida, the John Boy and Billy's Grill and Sauce car.
Rookie David Stover from Tulsa, Oklahoma, the SummerBayResort.com Chevy. All Chevys back here. Jimmy Burns in the Jackaroo Meat Sauces Chevy. Derek Kelly, the number 21 at SA Impact Auto Auction Chevy. And finally, Scott Sutherland, our buddy from Jefferson, Georgia, is also behind the wheel of the Chevy.
17th row, Keith Rogan from Winter Haven, Florida, the 94. The Southern Road Builders, Monte Carlo, and Forrest Urban from Virginia, the Insurance Doctor Chevy. Row 18, Gerald Davis from Delray, West Virginia, the Action Concrete 88 car, and Eric Corbett, the Larry & Sons Ford out of Hagerstown, Maryland.
We finish up the field with rookie Vince Finello out of Livonia, Georgia, the Bulkliner Trailer Chevy. Kyle Shoemaker out of New Jersey on the K2 Machinery Ford. Alan Bigelow in the Suck Bang Blow Biker Bar Chevy Monte Carlo. Joe Harrison Jr. from Rennick, West Virginia's Harrison Performance Engine Chevy. And finally, Danny Sammons in the AARN.com Fred's Parts Center Ford Taurus. That's the field here. 41 cars. Wow.
And Danny Sammons has to come from way at the back. He is usually a prime contender. Michael Rich carries one of our onboard looks. Jackaroo Sauces Dodge, that's car number 28. Michael has a ways to go to get up into contention tonight, but he's a pretty strong runner, lining up 24th. Jay Fogelman starts a little further back than we would like to see as well in the Lucas Oil Ford car.
Well, but he'll give us some great looks as he heads toward the front, and he inevitably does. Another one of those drivers that qualifies not quite as well as he races. Curtis Davis will give us an onboard look through the windshield of his number 8 entry, an unfamiliar number on that country, but a familiar face behind the wheel.
And Marty Lindley carries the familiar rear bumper cam of the Hooters Ford. Car number 15, and Marty Lindley starts in the 3rd row outside tonight. The Hooters girls on hand to welcome the fans here this evening. A lot of things we'll be looking at as we get ready to go for 300 laps. The Hooters 300 to cap the USAR Pro Cup season. And the points, so much money on the line tonight. Benny Gordon, 59 markers behind Shane Huffman.
Well, and that's close enough to make it an interesting race between those two, but it's enough of a margin for Shane Huffman if he chooses to take a more conservative approach, knowing that 7th, 8th place is going to guarantee him a championship, and $250,000 is worth more than $10,000 to win the race. You know he's been thinking about that, and even if he isn't, his crew will remind him about every lap, I'd reckon.
And very close point battles throughout the rest of the top 20. Joe Nemechek and his young son John Hunter, the honorary starters here tonight. Green flag in the air, and we're underway at Lakeland. Glad to have you with us here on Speed. And Shane Huffman trying to get away early. He's got about a half-car length lead down into turn 3.
Clay Rogers ducks down into the number 2 spot from outside the front row. And the 7 car of Mike Laughlin Jr. falls in line. So very quickly, we go single file here at USA International. They know it's a long race, 300 laps. No sense trying to win it on the first one.
It is a very high-speed racetrack. That's Sean Studer in the 71 up into fourth as they run single file. Benny Gordon's gained 2 spots already. He's moved up to 6. He's got to get to the front.
A lot of money at stake here, right, Stephen Cox?
Brian, this one's for all the marbles, and I have actually counted the marbles. Now, if Benny Gordon can win tonight and take the championship, if you throw in his Rookie of the Year money on top of that, he walks away with $295,000 for his year's work at the end of the season. Now, if Shane Huffman can win tonight and win the championship, he'll come awfully close. He doesn't get the rookie money, of course, but he'll make $285,000.
Wow. That is easily the biggest payoff in short track stock car racing.
Absolutely, and that's why so many drivers and so many teams come racing in the Hooters Pro Cup Series, because while, you know, during the course of the season it's pretty comparable to other series in terms of race win money, at the end of the year, the big old paycheck is what keeps them coming back.
Super Mario Gosselin on his way to the front in car number 10. He's bagged the Super Speedway win in another series this year, trying to get a win here at USA International. Further back, there's the 92 car. That is Martin Nesbitt's machine, sporting some new paint this weekend. Jameson Inn, a new sponsor on that car.
A sister car, actually, to that of Shane Huffman, and they have become sort of teammates, if you want to call it that, at Extra Motorsports. They're going to be pretty sure that they're going to have at least one car in victory lane at the end of the night, that being, you know, the top finisher in the championship, or one of the top finishers in the championship, and they're trying to get Martin Nesbitt a little extra help to move him up through the points.
Meanwhile, you got to look a moment ago at rookie Joel Kaufman out of Indiana in the LA West Chevrolet. He started in the 6th row outside. He's got some problems. Headed to pit road already. Kaufman has had a difficult stretch in the 5-race championship series. He's Don Satterfield in the 1, running right behind Glenn Galt's 32 car, Mike Rich in the 28. Meantime, let's check back in on Clayton Rogers in the 16. Well, he's fallen about 10 car lengths behind the leader, Huffman.
Well, I don't know that it's Clay Rogers that's fallen back. It's Shane Huffman that has taken off, because everybody's in the same boat with Clay Rogers. There's Mike Laughlin Jr. back there, the 15 car, the Hooters number 15 of Marty Lindley. I mean, it isn't that they've fallen back, but Huffman is once again doing his almost patented disappearing act. When he's got such a good car and he's able to drive away like that, why not? Plus, it's a lot safer when you're out there on clean track by yourself. For Huffman, there's no reason to hold back.
Oh, big problem here on the front straightaway. Several cars go around as we watch Lindley. That's David Stover in the 05. Danny Sammons, yellow flag waving. Gerald Davis is there along with Eric Corbett. We've got several cars involved on the front stretch. Our first caution of the night here on lap 11.
And the leaders, fortunately, had plenty of time coming around the backstretch and off turns 3 and 4 to get woed down. Shane Huffman arriving on the scene long after most of it had gone to a halt. So we still have a couple of cars parked out there. The 88 of rookie Gerald Davis, the Action Concrete Supplies car, damaged to the front end. And there you're looking at the 75 right at you, the Larry & Sons Ford of Eric Corbett, Northern Division driver, but those cars aren't going anywhere. Corbett tried to refire his car, but it's not going to move. You can see just a little bit of steam coming out, and there he tries now it's catching on fire. A little bit of fuel left in the exhaust system, but they're going to need to bring the trucks in for this one, and they're parked right in the middle of the front straightaway.
Having problems getting all of those cars refired. Eric Corbett had his first career win earlier this year at Mansfield in Ohio. Here's a look. There's Stover. He went right up the racetrack and then turned the 75 around as we check the Coca-Cola replay. Several other cars unable, taking evasive action, but no place to go.
Hard to say, but it might have been some contact between the 97, but there's the 05 all the way around. The 75 is spinning in his wake.
So USAR officials will decide to put the red flag out. We'll be right back at Lakeland.
USAR Hooters Pro Cup Racing is brought to you by Hooters, the cure for the common restaurant. Jackaroo Meat Sauces, served in America's finest backyard. Miller Lite, grab a Miller Lite, it's Miller time. Lucas Oil, the official lubricant of USAR.
Welcome back to USA International. Coverage of the season finale for the Hooters Pro Cup Tour, the Hooters 300. Ryan River, I'm Rick Benjamin. Part of the pageantry this weekend, Ryan, as the field is refired, the Goodyear Pit Stop Challenge.
Absolutely. It gives the pit crews a chance to showcase their skills for big bucks, too. $4,000 to the winner. The winning entry, the number 8 Trim Spa Big Bore Ford Taurus of Curtis Davis and Steve Husketh. Watch these guys go to work.
Pulled up a perfect 4-tire stop. No fuel involved. No penalties, no lug nuts left loose. And the 18 collects the $4,000. Marty Lindley's bunch with the 15 car. They were second quickest in the pit crew challenge, and they walk away with a $3,000 check for the runner-up spot. Brand new sponsorship for the Premier team with Trim Spa on the 8 car. Curtis Davis driving that machine here this weekend, and there's Steve Husketh and the team. Great job. Job well done all season long, really. And Goodyear certainly deserves a round of applause for staging this event the last several years for the Hooters Pro Cup stars.
And for their participation in the series. Great job by all the folks at Goodyear. And for specifically Steve Husketh and his crew celebrating not only a perfect stop, but a win. How about that?
Green flag back in the air to begin lap 22. Shane Huffman's led them all so far. Bobby Gill trying to march his way to the front in that black number 5. Gill with the 3 series championships. It has not been the kind of year Bobby Gill would love to have had, but he's getting stronger as the late season races unfold.
Well, the chance for a 4th championship have pretty well gone away for Bobby Gill, but he can move up through the standings with some good races. So tight among those drivers in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th positions, you know, outside the 1st and 2nd place spots held by Shane Huffman and Benny Gordon, that guys like Bobby Gill, guys like Martin Nesbitt, you know, there's a lot of movement possibility there. And because there's so much money on the line, my money's on Bobby Gill to make the most of it.
He is a money racer, no doubt about that. Clayton Rogers in that white 16 car runs second. The 7 of Mike Laughlin Jr. sits in 3rd spot. Now look at Scott Baker's Talmadge Asphalt car there, the red number 11 down the backstretch. Look at Huffman start to pull away. Laughlin putting lots of pressure on Rogers for second.
Well, I think that Mike Laughlin Jr. feels like he's got a faster car than Clay Rogers, and he's very impatient. Well, he's not very impatient, but he's somewhat impatient about wanting to get around because he sees Huffman getting away again, thinks he can do a better job than Rogers of trying to keep the leader close.
And here comes Laughlin off of turn 2, diving to the inside of Clayton Rogers. He may be able to get him here at the end of the backstretch. This is for 2nd spot.
Well, he's definitely got side and just enough drive off the corner to take away the number 2 position. So half the job is done. Now we'll see if he indeed is faster than Clay Rogers and whether he can hunt down leader Shane Huffman.
Mike Laughlin Jr., new sponsorship on the 7 car. W.J. Plemons Investments, that very familiar logo on the hood of the white Ford. And here comes Bobby Gill to the inside of Studer. He's gunning for 5th, and he's got it.
Well, he's heading for the front. Mike Laughlin Jr. is heading for the front. Benny Gordon just 2 spots further back, also trying to maintain position, get as close to the front as possible here. You know, it's all about trying to make yourself a place to race in here, you know, to get to the end as far to the front as possible, to have as many choices as possible for your pit stop, and just to stay out of trouble. So all the contenders are heading to the front, not the least of whom is the number 22, Jason Sarvis, the defending champion. It's not going to be a repeat title for that young driver, but he's in there racing hard right to the end of the season anyway.
Battling another former champion, Jeff Agnew in the Hooters NGA Golf Tour 73. Right up behind last year's North Tour Rookie of the Year, Brian Ross in the 42. So some very fast race cars as Gordon picks up another spot. And the 22 of Sarvis still trying to work his way around Agnew, really using the chrome horn to try to move Agnew out of the groove.
Well, it's Curtis Davis kind of leading that parade right now, the number 8 car that we have seen a bit of here already in this competition, that Trim Spa Ford. Davis behind the wheel. There's the 06 of Joe Gaeta, winner here of the season opener. He'd sure like to bookend the year with another victory tonight.
Buggy Pletcher there in the 51 right behind him. Agnew continuing to hold off the 22 of Sarvis. Brian Ross in the 42 trying to find a way to make that car work on the high side and get around Curtis Davis. Ross has been a disappointment this year, quite honestly. Certainly hasn't lost his touch. The car just has not been up to the test a lot of times. Meantime, here's Davis inside Studer. He'll pick up another spot. That opens the bottom of the racetrack for Ross.
And here he comes down on the low line. Can he make it work? There's a pretty fast number 8 car up on the high side, and a lot of forward momentum coming off the corners on the high line. The low way is the short way around the track, but the high line has been pretty fast. Here it looks like Brian Ross is making it work, and then just as he's, you know, the extra drive off the corner is what brings the 8 car of Davis up alongside. But Ross still makes it work, lays off the brakes a little bit and takes the position.
So Ross gets around in Darren Odell's Ford, trying to get to the front. We'll take a quick timeout and be right back here on Speed.
Congratulations to the 2003 Pit Crew champions.
Back on Speed, the season finale for the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Tour. We're at Lakeland, Florida, USA International. 300 laps in the offing tonight. 50 are on the board. Your Goodyear full field rundown. Shane Huffman has led all the way. Bobby Gill making huge inroads.
And so is Benny Gordon from 8th up to 5th, and he knows that as long as Shane Huffman is out in front, Benny Gordon has to get up there and race with him, has to keep him close. Here's the rest of our Goodyear full field rundown, and you can see position changes throughout the field, but the ones that we're really focused on, because this is the last race of the year, is that race for the championship between the 84 and the 44.
Kyle Shoemaker at 31st, Bruns in 32nd, Joe Harrison up to 33rd. Don Satterfield with a problem early. He was involved in that early scramble. He's marked back in 36th. And the 88 of Gerald Davis was involved with Aaron Corbett. Now, before the drop of the green tonight, we talked to points leader Shane Huffman about his strategy coming into the weekend.
Well, you know, our strategy is pretty simple, really. We're just going to try to qualify as well as we can and stay up as close to the front as we can. And you know, we're going to play it pretty safe on our print strategy. Probably stop around 100 and then 200, you know, on those marks. So we don't take any chances on fuel. And you know, our goal is just to make it to the end of the race, you know, and hopefully we can be competitive. You know, we have crunched the numbers and everything, but you know, all that really don't mean nothing. You know, you can add and subtract, but you still got to race. So you know, whatever happens in the race is going to happen. These guys have worked their tails off all year, and you know, I hope we get it for them. You know, they give up a lot just to be a part of this deal with us, and you know, it's a good deal. You know, and I'm happy for them. I'm happy for our sponsor, and you know, if we just got to close it out.
$285,000 on the line tonight for Shane Huffman if he can close the deal. He's led all the way so far at Lakeland, Florida. Welcome back to coverage of the Hooters 300 Championship Finale presented by Visti. It's the 2003 season finale for the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Tour here on Speed from USA International in Lakeland, Florida. Alongside Brian Drebber, I'm Rick Benjamin. Stephen Cox is on pit road. Shane Huffman has led all the way so far, but Bobby Gill has rolled his way up to second. Meantime, Brian Ross, who won 2 races on the North Tour this season, headed for pit road very early in that U.S. Insurance Group Ford. See what the problem is. He seems to be out of power as he slowly makes his way toward his pit stall. Darren Odell and the crew ready to jump the wall, and Stephen Cox is there.
Guys, this is under green, so it will be a very difficult stop. It'll easily put him a lap down and take him out of contention for the race, and it's a big disappointment for Darren Odell and the Odell Motorsports crew, and here's why. They took 10-12 hours a day all last week. They tested on Monday. They were really happy with it, and they went through this car with a fine-tooth comb. They rebuilt the brake system. They did everything underneath this race car, and it's all for naught.
Darren Odell giving the signal to cut it off.
Meantime, one contender this season, Steve Christian. This could be his final outing. Let's hear from him.
No, back when we first started, we started here at Lakeland. I remember the first race, and we came here and we were we blew up an engine probably 3 laps into practice. Never been to this track in this car and the whole deal. Ended up 6th in that first race. I think 15 of them wrecked here on the backstretch. But you know, it's been a fun 5 years. We've really enjoyed it. Lucas Oil has been a great partner for the last 5 years, and that part of it has made it worthwhile. I tell you, this has been a great series. It's just it's time to look at down the road 10 years for me and for the family, and watching my kids grow up and not missing that. And you know, I think I'm going to try to concentrate on that. It's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard because this is the 26th year that I've been racing something, you know, go-karts or whatnot. I started when I was 8. So from that standpoint, it makes it tough. You know, come February, I probably won't be too happy a person around the house. But I'm going to try to spend time with the kids and enjoy that and concentrate on the family construction business, see what we can do.
Now, Steve Christian made his announcement actually a couple of days ago. Brian, it sounds a little qualified.
Well, I think like boxers, that race car drivers have a hard time saying, I really, really mean it. This time, I really, really mean it. So we'll see about Stephen Christian. We'll miss him in any case until or if he decides to come back.
Only 34 years of age. He's had a lot of success here and elsewhere. Meantime, a guy who's having a lot of success tonight, Shane Huffman in the 84 on the pole, gunning for his 3rd win in the championship series and to put a hammerlock on the 2003 Hooters Pro Cup national title.
Well, he's doing a pretty good job out there on the racetrack, moving inside the number 50 of Hal Goodson. That's a very good car. He's up behind the number 4 of Jay Fogelman, another very good car and driver. So Shane Huffman is once again showing himself to be the class of the field. We're talking about a driver who has 7 wins, 8 poles counting tonight. 4 times he won from the pole. 6 times he was the halfway leader. Luke Hill coming into the pit road here right now. The only honors that Shane Huffman didn't collect were hard charger. He never started far enough back. And top rookie, he's not eligible.
That is dominance. That's the kind of dominance we had seen in past seasons from Bobby Gill. Huffman's certainly on his way to a performance like that. And the interesting thing here, the 4 of Fogelman, the 50 of Goodson, they're 18th and 19th. So at the moment, only 18 cars left on the lead lap, and we're not to 100 laps yet.
And going around the 57 of Joe Harrison Jr. as well, as Luke Hill's number 41 crew takes the right side of the car up and down and send him back on his way. But under green, that means he's going to lose a lot of spots and probably a lap as well.
You heard Huffman before say he's thinking in terms of 2 stops tonight. Normally these races are run with only 1 pit stop, but 2 pit stops about every 100 laps just to be on the safe side. Little bump and run on Jay Fogelman there by Huffman to move the 4 car up out of the group. Jay says, no thank you, I'll get right back on the gas and race you hard. I don't want to go a lap down.
Is there any question that Shane Huffman is a racer? I mean, he could afford to really just sit back on his heels and let the race, develop. As long as Benny Gordon's behind him, he's got no problems. But instead, he's heading right to the front. That's a race car driver and a fast car.
You watch Fogelman, watch Huffman wave goodbye. Welcome back on Speed, the Hooters 300, the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series Championship finale here in 2003. Watching Shane Huffman, the Genio Turkey Store's car, blasting to the inside, putting Super Mario Gosselin a lap down.
Another former champion goes a lap down here tonight. Such is the dominating performance of Shane Huffman. When he's on, it is scary. When that car is right, he can drive the heck out of it, and he does. No reason to hold back, and obviously he's not doing it either. As we look at our Goodyear full field rundown, you'll see how far back. There's so few cars now on the lead lap. Darren Kelly in 25th position, Scott Sutherland 26, Kyle Shoemaker back in 28. Now we start to get to cars who had trouble, including Luke Hill most recently, and then some of the ones involved in the early incidents.
Well, drivers that we thought would be contenders tonight, like former champion Jeff Agnew, the 22-car Jason Sarvis, they're just stuck back there. They haven't been able to make any inroads. Nobody's been able to do anything with Huffman, who took off after his track record pole run. He has been untouchable so far in the first 100 laps here tonight. This, though, is a pretty darn good battle for position. They've been nose to tail for the first 100 laps.
And literally nose to tail there for just a moment as Jason Sarvis gave him the old bump and run, the chrome horn, call it what you like. He made the position change by getting Agnew just a little bit loose, backed out enough to let him gather it. By then the damage was done and he slides on by.
Sarvis getting a spot away from Agnew and now starting to pull away. Again, a case where Agnew evidently was holding up Jason Sarvis. So we'll see if Sarvis can make any moves toward the front. And how about this? Curtis Davis in that 8 car going a lap down to Huffman here at 100 laps.
Well, there are a lot more cars that went a lap down than have not, and there are only a few left to go a lap down at this point. And Shane Huffman is really unwinding the field. He's bringing a number of other good cars with him. Bobby Gill and the others who are going along for the ride, also lapping cars pretty regularly. Here they come up behind the 92 of Mark Nesbitt, in that Jamison Inns car. And there are a pair of 92s out there on the racetrack, including Jimmy Burns.
Oh, Jason Sarvis, who had just gotten to 8th in the Black's Tire Chevrolet. He must have lost it. He went up the racetrack and got on the brakes. Looks like he may have a cut down right front tire. And that is the second caution of the day. The yellow waving on lap 105 as Sarvis goes a lap down. He's got the hand out the window, letting people know what's going on, and then he'll be headed to pit road. Mark Nesbitt running at 12th, catches a break there. It looked as though he was about to go a lap down to Shane Huffman. This will reset the field, and Nesbitt will be able to stay on the lead lap.
Boy, tough break for Jason Sarvis. And what a difference a year makes. Last year, he's riding on cloud 9 and ends up being the season champion. And tonight, in a shower of sparks and damaged sheet metal, Jason Sarvis has got a big problem.
Fans on hand enjoying the action tonight, even though it is a little cooler than what you'd expect in Central Florida late in the year. But a lot of folks wearing the parkas here tonight, probably the first time they've had to use them in this part of the state all season long on Thanksgiving weekend. 22 car on pit road. They've got the thing up on a jack finally to change right side tire. Put new fuel in that car as well, just past the 100 lap mark.
They had to lift it to get it up on the jack in the first place. Now it's going to be interesting to see. It's a bit early for stops, although if they say they're going to stop at 100 and 200, remember this is a 300-lap race. They have to stop once. They'll probably stop twice. And Shane Huffman coming down pit road means a lot of the cars are going to go with him. Here's Bobby Gill right behind him as well.
They'll take no chances at all. Benny Gordon, who's running third in the 44, the other remaining championship contenders. So the top 3-4 cars. Here comes the 7 of Mike Laughlin Jr., Clay Rogers as well. Leaders headed towards Stephen Cox to make their first stop of the night. Stephen, go ahead.
Your race leader, Shane Huffman, will bring the Genio Turkey Stores car down pit row and take on only 2 tires. Now, here's why. They have an increased allotment of 10 total tires for the night because it is a 300-lap race this evening instead of a 250-lap race. So Shane's crew says he will take on 2 on the outside and have good tires at the end of the day if he needs them. And guess who just beat him off a pit row, guys?
Wow. That may be where this race is won or lost, Brian.
I don't know. There's still a long ways to go towards the end here, and I would say that Shane Huffman has been better than Bobby Gill by more than Gill just beat Huffman off pit road. So it could be an interesting race here in the first 10, 20, 30 laps after the restart.
Because Gill is very well able to make that 5-car plenty wide. Fans enjoying the action, we trusted you are too. We'll take a quick break and be right back on Speed.
Don't you dare go away. There's a lot more racing to come, so don't touch that dial.
Back on Speed with coverage of the Hooters 300. It's the championship finale for the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Tour, presented by Visti. Alongside Brian Drebber, I'm Rick Benjamin, Stephen Cox on pit road. 29 races to get to this point. 300 laps tonight to settle the title. $285,000 on the line for the driver of car number 84, but he restarts second for the first time tonight.
Well, Bobby Gill beat him off pit road here. Now, as I said, it's going to be pretty interesting here in the first 10, 15 laps of this restart. Can Gill, after having changed tires, there are some variables here. So will Gill have a better car than he did before the pit stop, and he'll be better matched with Shane Huffman? Did Huffman come in and make his car worse? Because better was hardly possible. All these things are going to be interesting. Mike Laughlin Jr. is putting some pressure on right now. So clearly he thinks that he's got a little bit to gain by coming off the pit stop with a better situation for his car.
With 187 laps to go, we saw the Naturally Fresh Foods top 10 there. The other interesting story, Dave Pletcher has unlapped himself. He's got the 51 up to 4th. Didn't stop, I would assume. He's back on the lead lap.
Well, absolutely didn't stop, and by staying out there, he made up the lap. Everybody came in with the leader, Shane Huffman. Bobby Gill comes out as the leader, and he's not pulling away, but this is better than Bobby Gill has done against Shane Huffman in this race so far. Now, Huffman's setup may come in after longer runs. We saw him pull away pretty quickly off the restarts in the early part of the race. Things are a little different. There's the 51 of David Buggy Pletcher, that racefansdating.com Ford, doing himself a good job there with around the pit stops.
Some sparks flying from the chassis of the 51. Kind of makes you wonder if Pletcher might not have a problem developing since he didn't stop. We've already seen one car cut a right front tire down tonight. A little further back, Nesbitt in the black 92, Agnew in the 73. They're on the high side, lapping by Luke Hill's 41. There's Michael Rich in the Jack Rouge Sauce's 28 in that group as well.
Well, the 41 of Luke Hill, down several laps, stopped under green, of course, and he's back out there, and the car's working extremely well. But, as I said before, the damage already done. Damage being he's gone laps down, and he's slipping back into the middle of the pack here. It's going to be very difficult for him to get a lap back.
Contact back there. Daniel Johnson getting into it with Luke Hill. Several other cars. There's Glenn Galt's 32, the 71 of John Studer, who was up in the top 5 during the first 50 laps. Let's take another look, see if we can get another look back at what happened as they came down the straightaway. A lot of beating and banging back there at a pretty high-speed part of the racetrack.
Well, you might call this a near miss, but George Carlin would call it a near hit. As everybody started checking up in the back of the field, we see the checks cashed car avoiding a problem, but there was definitely some driving on ice going on. And here maybe is the answer to what you posed a moment ago. Lots of sparks flying off Buggy Pletcher's car.
That perhaps the exhaust system's dragging. A lot of charitable functions going on in connection with the finale this year.
The Toys for Tots program actually was an idea of one of our team members, and Chuck came to me with the suggestion. And I thought it was a great one, so he kind of said, take it from here. So that's what I did, and I just more or less got the word out to all the teams that we were doing this at this race, the last race of the season. and to be as generous as possible. And they have been wonderful. The pile of toys over at the Hooters trailer is just fabulous. So just want to say thank you to everybody who's helped. It's been a lot of fun.
Rosemary Burns, Jimmy Burns' mom, the driver of the Jackaroo Meat Sauce's 92 car. Jimmy from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Sean Studer, who was an early contender, headed down pit road for a green flag stop.
Well, I'll tell you what, these long races tend to magnify potential problems here. And now Studer is 71 on pit road under green. It's never good.
Bobby Gill leading, but Shane Huffman reeling him in. We'll be right back here on Speed. Welcome back on Speed, the championship finale of 2003 for the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Tour. Watching the battle for 5th spot, Blake Rogers in the 16 has that position. Championship contender Benny Gordon in the 44 right behind him. But you know, Brian, it's never too early to start thinking about the upcoming year. We'll be back here in USA to open the 2004 season in just a couple of months.
Well, a couple of new venues also for next year. Looking forward to Lake Erie Speedway, for instance, and announcements coming thick and fast. You want to keep track of it because there's always news coming out of USAR and the Hooters Pro Cup Series about their schedule, dates yet to be announced. And of course, we finish once again in 2004 right here at USA International in Lakeland.
And some huge changes coming in terms of the competition in the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series. More about that in a couple of moments. As always, over the winter months, keep up to date on everything that's going on with the tour at our website, usarprocup.com. We'll post the television broadcast schedule there and a whole lot more as we work through the very brief off-season. Halfway, the cross flags being shown to Bobby Gill. He picks up the Lucas Oil Products Halfway Leader Award. He's only led 6 laps. We've had 4 lead changes so far. But Gill in the Triple Diamond Jet Center 5 in a very familiar spot. Your Goodyear full field rundown at lap 150. Huffman still sitting second. Laughlin is third. Gordon is sixth ahead of Lindley. How about Scott Baker? A nice run up to 8th. There's Jeff Agnew ahead of Hal Goodson as they battle for 11th and 12th.
Danny O'Quinn Jr., a good performer in the top 10 as well. Joe Gaeta, winner of the spring race, right there in 16th. Stephen Christian, who announced his retirement, we think. And Keith Rogan back there in 21st position, another rookie driver. And here's some real attrition. Laps down. Luke Hill in his 41 car. And you can see Danny Salmon's involved in one of the early incidents. David Stover there. Corbett in the 75 car out of the race, along with Davis and Kaufman, the first one out 12 laps into this one.
Forrest Urban sitting 26th. First time back for quite a while for the insurance doctor, Chevrolet. Meantime, Benny Gordon trying to get to the front. Let's hear from his crew chief's brother, Stephen.
Todd, I guess the bad news is you needed the halfway points. You didn't get them. The good news is you still seem to have a good race car.
Yeah, we put 4 tires on when the majority put 2, and they were awful cold. Car's coming back to us. We hope that we can get back up there. I think we're sitting 3rd or 4th or something like that. We're going to try a little different strategy. I'm not going to say what it is right now, but I think it's going to work. I know it's going to work.
Well, Benny Gordon and his brother are sitting back actually in 6th, so they need to massage their strategy and get it cranked up. Here's Marty Lindley in car number 15, the Hooters Ford. Trying to move up through the field as well. He's right behind Scott Baker. Martin Nesbitt in the 92 car, back in 9th position. He's had a good night going so far. Able to stay on the lead lap. He's right behind Lindley, who runs along in 8th spot. Luke Hill in the 41 next in line, but Hill's several laps down at this point. Very tough battling for these drivers tonight. 300 laps, big challenge here at USA International. On board with Marty Lindley in the 15 car as he watches Nesbitt in the 92. Nesbitt to the bottom of the racetrack scored his first career victory earlier this season at South Boston. Well, one of the big changes coming up in 2004 for the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Tour involves some new tires. The teams will be dealing with radials for the first time ever. Jason Service about the change.
You know, it's definitely a step forward. You know, we're kind of wishing that we could have been down this road a little bit sooner. You know, it's really good for the series with BF Goodwrench coming in, because they're going to, you know, they're basically trying to market their product. And, you know, they're real interested and really excited with joining the series, and that only makes things grow. You know, sometimes a change is always better because, you know, not only is it going to help the points fund and different things, it just gives us a new learning curve. And, you know, the radial tires is the way to go. That's just like computers. I mean, you know, it's the way of the future, and it's everybody on the streets on radials. So, you know, race cars should be too. You know, it helps the technology, and it trickles down to the passenger cars.
And joining us in the booth to talk more about the changes, Todd Steen. He's the motorsports marketing manager for BF Goodrich Tires. Todd, welcome. This is going to be a huge thing for the series.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate being here, Rick. We're excited about being with USAR and Hooters Pro Cup. We've been courting them for a while and talking to them almost day in and day out. And once we were able to announce it, there was a lot of excitement through the company.
Now, what attracted you about this series to bring BF Goodrich tires to this brand of short track stock car racing?
But it's the professionalism of the series. You see a lot of the drivers in front of the camera handling themselves well. There's a huge car count. The number of races. We talked before the race today that we use racing not as a profit center, but actually as a marketing platform to bring our customers to the track and put them pretty much as ordinary people in extraordinary positions, whether it's honorary pit crew members or waving the green flag or any number of pace car rides or anything like that. So Hooters Pro Cup is going to offer us a great venue to bring the customers to the track and drive sales.
Now, you sell, of course, street tires under the BF Goodrich Tires brand, and you use the racing involvement to create new brands, don't you, for the street?
Absolutely. Back in '98, when we signed with Trans Am Series, we actually launched our ultra-high-performance tire line called the G-Force TA. And since then, we've worked with several other stock car series, where this particular series is going to be running on the Traction TA, and we've just released this past October the Traction TA for the commercial tires for the customers.
So next season, when these teams come back to Lakeland to start the year in February, they'll be riding on BF Goodrich radial race tires, and it will make the racing a lot different, I would think, also.
Yeah, we've found that the tires are much more consistent in long runs. A radial tire will always prove to turn better, so the cars won't be struggling to actually turn. They'll actually try to keep them. They'll be struggling to keep them up under for a while. The learning curve will be across the board, and we know that from what we've seen, we can add to the competition.
Well, we look forward to seeing the change in 2004. There'll be a lot of point fund money on the line for these drivers. Of course, BF Goodrich will contribute to that and to prize money and to a whole lot more. Todd, we welcome you to USAR Hooters Pro Cup Racing. It'll be great to see the BF Goodrich Tires logo on all these cars next year.
Thanks, Rick. And again, we're excited to be here.
Watching Don Satterfield, Todd Steen joining us in the booth. He is the Motorsports Marketing Manager for BF Goodrich Tires. They're a new partner in the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series. Battling down into the corner, Danny Salmons gets sideways. He goes around. Derek Kelly goes around as well. With 132 laps left, a caution waves. Just the third one of the night, but trouble in the turn here at USA International. So the caution waves, and we will get a chance for some of these drivers perhaps to come down pit road. You saw Super Mario Goslin on pit road, troubles with the 10 car, and several other of these teams need an opportunity to take a break. Salmons refires the AARN.com Ford, and he comes back up onto the racetrack, but he no doubt will have to come to pit road. So Bobby Gill's been leading for quite a while now. Gill able to get out of the gas and save his tires a little bit, cool things down. But this gives Shane Huffman an opportunity, certainly, to try to catch back up as we prepare for the restart. Take another look at what happened. Your Coca-Cola replay down in the corner. And Salmons just got a little bit of help from the 22 of Jason Sarvis. He collected Kelly in the 21 as they went around. The 22 of Sarvis on fresher tires, a little bit quicker going down into the corner. Nobody into the wall, but a couple of cars around. It's our third caution of the night here at USA International. One more look on board with Michael Rich as he dives to the bottom of the racetrack. Gets away first from the 97 and then avoids Derek Kelly. We'll be back on Speed. Back on Speed while we were away. Don Satterfield with a hard hit into the wall. That Hawk Sawblade Chevrolet damaged heavily at both the front and the rear. So Satterfield, all the liquid has come out from the car as well. As you can see, this could be a lengthy cleanup. Also, while we were away, Bobby Gill took advantage of the break and the caution to head to pit road, make his first stop in the Triple Diamond Jet Center's Ford. So he gives up the lead as we get close to 100 laps to go.
Well, he's come in actually for the second time and out of sequence with everybody else. With that, let's take a look at our Lucas Oil race recap, bring everybody up to speed on what's happened, including during the break.
Shane Huffman was the pole sitter with a new track record. He took the lead at the drop of the opening green, and he would dominate well past the 100-lap mark tonight. Great contenders up front on lap 11. First incident of the evening, this was on the front straightaway. The 05 car heavily involved. The 97 of Danny Salmons got into the 05. David Stover out of Tulsa. Several other cars involved. On lap 106, the leader, Shane Huffman. Bobby Gill running second. Benny Gordon was third. Pit stops during a caution. And on lap 150. At the halfway point, Bobby Gill was out on the racetrack in the lead in clean air, and he won the halfway leader bonus tonight from Lucas Oil. That's your Lucas Oil recap as we move toward the final third of competition in the Hooters 300 tonight. Big crowd of fans braving chilly temperatures to enjoy things as we get set for a restart. Huffman back for the restart lead now that Gill has made his pit stop.
Well, Huffman inherits or re-inherits the lead. Bobby Gill back deep in the field. He has already stopped now, and we expect all the leaders to stop again. So kind of an out-of-sequence pit stop strategy.
Up the racetrack.
Look out.
How about Benny Gordon almost into the wall in the Baird car? Just manages to keep it off the fence. Your Naturally Fresh Foods top 10. Gill in 9th after pitting. Behind Lindley, Danny O'Quinn in 10th. Here's Mike Laughlin all over Huffman for the lead with 120 to go.
Right behind him, and that brings back memories of Peach State with Mike Laughlin Jr. challenging Shane Huffman in that one. It turned out to be Huffman's race. He won it. David Buggy Pletcher having problems a while ago, but he's back out on the racetrack and hustling around. Here comes Laughlin Jr. on the inside. A change of position for the lead. No, Huffman holds him off across the stripe.
But Laughlin Jr. refusing to give up. He's down on the bottom. He's on the yellow line with fresh rubber. Going for the point, and he's got it. Getting by Shane Huffman to grab the lead. So Mike Laughlin Jr. completes a great drive to the front. First time we've seen Huffman get passed on the racetrack tonight.
Absolutely. Other than going down pit road, no one has been the leader of this race. Taking a position away from Shane Huffman. He's had a very good race car. Whether he laid back a little bit, again, it looks like through the course of the race, Shane Huffman's car takes a few laps to come in. Not very many, mind you, because he's able to get away pretty quickly off these restarts. Here you can see that 2 cars have gotten away from everybody else on the restart. Huffman just not quite as good as Mike Laughlin Jr. There's Benny Gordon, who survived a scary moment. He's right back in the gas again, and Bobby Gill is heading for the front.
Bobby Gill, after the pit stop, was 9th, trying to knife his way through the field. He's got a very fast horse tonight. Well, we get the opportunity as we watch Scott Baker in the red 11 car making a big move toward the front. Big news, we showed you earlier the 30-race USAR Hooters Pro Cup schedule for 2004. All races will be broadcast on Speed, of course, in the upcoming season, but the airtime moves back to Thursday night, prime time, 8 o'clock Eastern. That is a huge hit for USAR Pro Cup racing.
It's Hooters Pro Cup Thursdays on Speed all season long in 2004. We're really looking forward to that. And again, as you said, in prime time, 8 p.m. Eastern, and scattered out through the rest of the hours across the country, 5 p.m. Out on the West Coast. And everybody will get a chance to watch maybe over dinner or whatever. Hooters Pro Cup racing in 2004.
And of course, a lot of folks like to watch the following day on the re-air. It'll be Friday at noon Eastern again this year for your lunchtime viewing plans. A little further back in the pack, Glenn Galt there in the American Title Insurance 32. Gill about to move by the 97, and Danny Samuelson put him another lap down. Jeff Agnew just has been unable to get going. There's the Hooters NGA Chevrolet, the 73. Agnew, trouble.
Whoa.
One car into the outside wall coming out of turn 4. Everybody scatters. Yeah. Caution on lap 188. Sean Studer got shoved up into the wall. He manages to keep from hitting it again, but boy, did he go around a couple of times as the field scattered on the front straightaway.
Not quite the hit that we saw Don Satterfield take a while ago, but Mike Laughlin Jr. is now going to have his advantage erased by a caution flag as he starts to bring the field to a slowdown there. Shane Huffman's going to roll right up behind him. Clay Rogers in the number 16 Naturally Fresh Foods car is there, and that brought the crowd to their feet again.
Dave Pletcher in the 51 had gotten into the wall as well. That muffler problem that we reported on earlier, he was dragging some exhaust system sections, apparently causing him to have a problem and get up in the fence. So the fans take the opportunity to stretch as we get a 4th caution flag of the night here at USA International. And now the question, Brian, if you're thinking, hey, a second pit stop around lap 200, do you stop now, 10 laps short of 200?
Well, Bobby Gill did stop, and that would cause some people to think it's a good idea only because it was Bobby Gill who did it. Now, he's a pretty smart guy, but here they go. Shane Huffman comes down pit road, and indeed, it's, follow me, follow you, and down come all the leaders once again together.
Laughlin in the 7 is the race leader. The second place car of Huffman, who was the pole sitter. Clayton Rogers in the 16. There's Mark Nesbitt. Scott Baker headed to pit road.
Bobby Gill.
Gill again for his second stop. So this should set up the fast cars with fresh tires and plenty of fuel to go the rest of the way.
Well, with nothing to lose, Bobby Gill's coming in to do what they didn't do just a little while ago. They're going up on the right side, no doubt putting fuel in. Yes, we can see the fuel men working back there in the distance on the right while we watch the 2 lead cars being worked on left of the screen.
Benny Gordon has made his stop. He'll be the first car off pit road. So for Gordon's team, that's really a great thing. They need to win this race to have a shot here tonight, and they're going to try to do all they can. Clayton Rogers next off pit road. Here comes Huffman. Laughlin with problems as they adjust on the car and try to change the left side tires.
Well, Clay Rogers had to back up to get around Shane Huffman. He still managed to get off pit road. Huffman fell in line right behind him. And here they are. So we're going to shuffle the deck a little bit. We'll tell you where the cards lie in just a few moments. Big loser, though, was definitely Mike Laughlin Jr.
Back on speed with coverage of the Hooters 300 Championship finale. It's the season concluder for the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Tour presented by Visti. Alongside Brian Drever, Ibrick Benjamin, Stephen Cox is on pit road. Green flag back in the air on lap 196, 104 remaining tonight. And Benny Gordon is the restart leader. Shane Huffman right behind him. Here's your Naturally Fresh Foods top 10. Gordon, Huffman, Martin Nesbitt up to third, Gill and Lindley.
And just like that, Shane Huffman around not only the lap car of Joe Gaeta, but the leader Benny Gordon on the restart. So he wasted no time in showing everybody who the dominant car is now. And Huffman not pulling slowly away, but really jetting away from the field here just a lap and a half into the restart.
If this were a poker game, I could see Benny Gordon throwing his cards down and walking away from the table because he had the lead on the restart after a stop, and Huffman just blew right around him.
Very impressive run here in the closing stages by Joe Gaeta.
Oh,
we got a problem. That's the 55 car, but there's not a caution yet, and there may not be, as Alan Bigelow takes the Suck Bang Low biker bar number 55. Now that's an establishment that is very familiar to the people, in the area where they come from up there, and he's out of Winchester, Indiana, but picked up sponsorship from a very famous bar for the insiders in the sport.
There's the 51 of Fletcher, still dragging that exhaust system piece, still on the racetrack. Bigelow apparently popped the wall of the 55, manages to keep it going. Oh, yeah,
now we got a caution.
With 101 laps to go, the caution is out, perhaps for debris.
Yes, it is.
From the 55, maybe even from the 51 car.
Well, we see a big chunk of bodywork up against the wall there, just past where Alan Bigelow left. It's a bumper cover, but it's not off Bigelow's car. It's off of the 22 of Sarvis laying up there against the wall. Saw the yellow fiberglass inside of it. Took a while to identify whose car it came off of, but process of elimination. We're looking around the racetrack. We're seeing a 22 minus a bumper cover and a white cover laying against the wall. We put it all together for you.
Good night to have the coffee concession here at USA International, or the cocoa concession, because a lot of fans downstairs grabbing a cup of hot beverage to try to stave off the chill, uncharacteristic in late November in this part of Florida.
Kind of a hand warmer concession if you put a cup in each paw there.
Sure. Track safety crew out to clean up the debris from the 22 car, that bumper cover being gathered up. I think they're going to have to take the nose cap off the 55 as well to allow Alan Bigelow to return to the racetrack.
I was very, very impressive, like I said, with Joe Gaeta. Boy, he made a great move off the restart just prior to this one and picked up about 4 spots and got up close to the front where he was the first car not on the lead lap. He's on the inside line again, and a really good start would get him his lap back. Joe Gaeta's been doing a pretty good job. Again, the winner of the season opener here at USA International to start off the 2003 year. 97
remaining tonight in the Hooters 300. Back underway. Gaeta wants to dive to the bottom and get back on the lead lap. Your Goodyear full field summary at lap 203. Scott Baker with a terrific night going up to 6th. Mike Laughlin Jr. sits 7th. Buggy Pletcher still hanging on in 11th spot. Hal Goodson is 12th. 1 lap down. So 11 cars remain on the lead lap. Gaeta has his work cut out for him. Now we check the scoring, and we see that he's 2 laps down on the restart.
Well, the early going in this race is what put all of these drivers in their cars 2, 3, 4, 5, and more laps down. The way that Shane Huffman was running, there were so few cars able to stay with him that it's turned into just a handful of cars eligible for the win here tonight by being on the lead lap.
Vince Finello of the 31 car was out early with a mechanical issue on pit road. Joe Kaufman, who qualified up in 12th. He had a great rookie season in the LA West Vans Chevrolet. Had a difficult stretch during the 5-race championship run. Kaufman certainly will be disappointed with how this night turned out.
Well, he can still salvage something, from the way he ran all year long to move into the next season, which his rookie year had its ups and downs. It's been down lately, but like so many others, Joel Kaufman will regroup, come back next year. He will have learned quite a bit from his successes and his failures here in 2003 and be even stronger in 2004.
Age 17, some very impressive qualifying runs and some top 5 finishes. Couldn't break through to victory lane. He's one of the many drivers we talked to very excited about the move to BF Goodrich radial tires to go racing on in 2004. For second spot, Bobby Gill tried to race his way inside Mark Nesbitt's 92. He's got it.
Gill moves up into the number 2 spot, but I'm still impressed with Joe Gaeta racing among the leaders. Clearly, we can see that the cream has risen to the top here. These are the fast cars in the late going. Shane Huffman, Bobby Gill, Martin Nesbitt, the Hooters number 15 of Marty Lindley. But Gaeta's right in there with him. So having lost laps early in the race, you know, now he could be right up there in contention for a win and get that bookend double victory. But he's 2 laps down, and as you said, has a long uphill battle. Now he's going to slip up out of the way. He's a very experienced driver, and he's got the courtesy necessary to let the lead lap cars race with each other. Gill moves easily inside of Gaeta and right behind leader Shane Huffman now.
Want to give a call out to Jeff Agnew of Floyd, Virginia as well as we watch that battle a little further back. There's the Hooters NGA Golf Tour Chevrolet. He's raced his way into 5th. Now Gaeta was nowhere near the lead for a long time. He's been patient. They've adjusted on the car. They've worked their way up. Meantime, for 19th, Jay Fogelman just can't get on track tonight, racing his way around Jimmy Burns in the Jackaroo Sauces car. Daniel Johnson there as well in the Chex Cash 56. Fogelman, I thought, would be a factor here tonight.
Well, he certainly has been a factor all season long in the Northern Division, and he's the kind of driver that you would expect indeed to be a factor in the championship run. 5 races to decide the title. But Jay Fogelman just has not been able to quite get it together. Joe Harrison Jr. now in the 57, may be done for the evening as slowly as that car is moving. And under green, he might be taking a hard left turn to go right behind the wall. But Bobby Gill and Shane Huffman now, the class of the field here, with a tip of the hat to Agnew, who started in 13th position, running in the top 5. The only driver, by the way, ever to win the rookie title and the championship in the same year. Benny Gordon with a chance of doing that here in 2003.
Benny Gordon, though, needs to get on track to the 44 car. Where is he right now? Well, you can't see him. He's back in 10th. After the pit stop cycle around lap 200, Gordon hasn't made any progress toward the front at all.
Well, he's made a lot of progress towards the front of Hooters Pro Cup racing and into the radar of racing fans around the country. 7 times he finished as the top Miller Lite rookie of the race. Once he was the hard charger. He had 2 victories in his rookie season. The only honors that eluded him, he was never a halfway leader, and he never got a pole position. But Benny Gordon made his mark in Hooters Pro Cup 2003.
And he and his brother, their team, looking forward very much to 2004. The Talmadge Asphalt 11 car of Scott Baker. Great run tonight. Baker back to 7th, though, now. Here's Gill to the outside of Huffman for the lead in 1 and 2.
Well, Shane Huffman kind of easing down a little bit, maybe thinking, okay, fine, you know, 7th, 8th, caution. So he's going to keep the lead. Shane Huffman will keep the lead.
6th yellow of the night on lap 214 with 86 laps to go. Gill about to break to the outside. Debris on the racetrack. Yellow lights come on. Gill has to back out of the gas. We'll take a break and be back in Lakeland. Back on speed at USA International in Lakeland, Florida. Coverage of the Hooters 300 presented by Visti, and that's a volunteer organization, Brian.
Volunteers in service to the elderly. Bob Brooks, the worldwide wing commander, the commander-in-chief of the Hooters restaurants and all of the great naturally fresh dressings and all the other products that they have. And Bob Brooks wants to be here to see who's going to be his champion for 2003.
Getting ready for a restart. Safety car is on pit road. Shane Huffman will take him under the green flag one more time. 81 laps remain. Now Bobby Gill, right before the caution, had gotten alongside Huffman and was about to take the lead. Let's see what he can do here. Huffman opens up a couple of car lengths.
Well, the word is that Shane Huffman's crew was actually saying, look, don't fight Bobby Gill for the victory here. Once again, the $250,000 championship versus the $10,000 first place prize for the race here tonight. Got a car spinning up in the turn. I think that it's hard to tell from here. But David Stover gets going again and no caution. We're still green, and Shane Huffman is still leading Bobby Gill.
Gill about 5 car lengths back as they steam down into turn 3 here. Huffman able to hold that lead comfortably. And Brian, as you pointed out, doesn't necessarily need to win the race tonight, just needs to finish well to lock up the championship. There is one other factor, though. If he wins tonight, he'll have won 3 of the 5 championship events, so there's a $25,000 bonus in play if he can win. It was Joe Gaeta in the 06 who went around, and he was able to keep that car off the wall. He was running all by himself, 2 laps down, Gaeta sitting in the top 20, though, and trying to hang on and get a good finish here tonight.
Well, very little to be lost by anybody because the cars are, there's cars that are 1 lap down. There's a few cars that are 2 laps down. There's a few cars that are 3 laps down, but they're kind of scattered through the field. So even Joe Gaeta going around didn't necessarily hurt him that badly in terms of the position that his finish position or potential finish position in the race. Up on the high side, the 7 of Mike Laughlin Jr. Jeff Agnew down on the low line. They come up behind Keith Rogan in that number 94 Southern Road Builders yellow car with the black highway on the front there.
Battle is for 5th spot. Laughlin has it in the 7. The Hooters NGA Golf Tour Chevrolet of Jeff Agnew right behind him. Derek Kelly's car next in line in that 21 out of Auburndale, Florida. He spun earlier. He is not on the same lap as the lead contenders. And there's the 11 of Scott Baker, too. Jay Fogelman on the 4, trying to work his way up into contention here. Fogelman very quietly trying to climb through the pack. He's gotten up to 18th, so he's not running on the same lap as these cars either. Let's ride with Curtis Davis. That brand new Trim Spa sponsorship for the Premier Motorsports team. They parked the 68 this weekend, the quality brake car. Curtis moving into the 8, trying to score some points for that car. Trouble. Kyle Shoemaker goes around. Had a little help, it looks like, as they came off the corner. And the yellow waves with 75 to go. It's our 7th caution of the night here at Lakeland.
A little help from our onboard camera car, number 8, Curtis Davis, just couldn't quite stay off the back end of the 27 of Shoemaker. We're under yellow.
So the K2 machinery car will rejoin the pack. He may have flat spotted a tire or two. Back on speed, we're at USA International Speedway in Lakeland, Florida. Coverage of the USAR Hooters Pro Cup season finale in 2003. Alongside Brian Drebber, I'm Rick Benjamin. One car smoking. Looks like Martin Nesbitt's got an issue.
Well, it could be. I mean, also under caution, often the chassis will kind of settle down just a little bit, or maybe there's some rubber that's gotten thrown up underneath, and it's falling out. The car's slowing down now, so it's falling onto the exhaust system. The fans are coming to their feet. They want to see racing all the way to the checkered, but that's a lot of smoke coming off of the 92 car right now on the restart. We'll have to keep a very close eye on that. We know the USAR officials will.
Coming up on 70 to go, your Naturally Fresh Foods top 10. Agnew 6th, Baker. Good run for Danny O'Quinn up to 8th. Ahead of Clayton Rogers, and Hal Goodson sits 10th in that Lynch Motorsports car. It's a Ford this weekend.
Like in that rookie battle between Scott Baker and Danny O'Quinn Jr., that is for Miller Lite Rookie of the Race. And Benny Gordon also running in the top 10, 3 rookies among the first 10 drivers out there.
If you look back at the USAR Hooters Pro Cup record book, you see Bobby Gill's name as a winner here at USA International a lot of times. He certainly has this place figured out. He's doing a great job again tracking down Shane Huffman. Huffman hangs onto the lead, but Gill ever so slowly creeping closer and closer. And Mike Laughlin, the W.J. Clemens Investments Ford, up out of the groove. Laughlin was running up in the top 3 earlier. Looks as though his night could be over. We'll try to find out what the problem is. Gill, meantime, relentlessly chasing down the leader, Huffman.
Well, Mike Laughlin Jr. led 7 laps of this race shortly after the first round of pit stops. And for him to be off song like this and coasting to a stop is really a tough turn of events for that number 7 car and its driver.
Headed for the garage area. He is behind the wall. Looks like Mike Laughlin Jr.'s race season is done for 2003. We'll try to send Stephen Cox in that direction. See if we can find out what happened to the 7 car. Big week for motorsports. Up in Indianapolis this week, the biggest trade show in the sport, the Performance Racing Industry Show, staged by our old friend Steve Lewis and his very capable staff, and we're looking forward to being there for the first time. USAR, the Hooters Pro Cup Tour, will have a major presence there, along with the new tire supplier, BF Goodrich Tires. And if you're in the area and you're planning to attend the PRI show, be sure and stop by. You can find out more about Hooters Pro Cup Racing, next year's race schedule, television plans, and a whole lot more. Meantime, the battle for the lead heating up here in turn 2.
And Martin Nesbitt, the smoking problem went away a few laps into the race. Perhaps, as I said, just some tire rubber falling on the exhaust system, maybe a little extra oil blowing out through the holding tank there, the dry sump oil reservoir. But whatever it is, it's gone away, and he's running extremely well in that number 92 Jamison Inns car. Here is the 73 Jeff Agnew, the NJ Hooters Golf Tour car. The 11, that's Baker, who is currently the top running rookie in the race here today and having a very fine run in that Talmadge Asphalt Chevy.
They run along in 5th and 6th. The good battle taking shape. The 56 car trying to close in a little bit. Daniel Johnson's machine Joe Fogelman there. We talked about how Fogelman has been really unable to crack the top 15. He's running a good pace right now, but he just got himself behind at the drop of the race, drop of the initial green. Hasn't been able to gain any ground since.
Well, but let's cut to the chase, cut to the race, and that's up front between those two black cars with the green numbers on them. 84, Shane Huffman. And to give you an idea of how dominant his season has been, he has led 30 times in a total of 13 races for a total of 1,870 laps. That is almost 3 times the number.
Trouble.
Oh!
Glenn Galt goes around in the 32.
Yo.
Hal Goodson has to stand on the brakes. Joe Gaeta, a couple of other cars. Looks like the 46 of Forrest Urban involved there. So we've got caution on the speedway. Traffic jams up coming off the corner. Joe Harrison back on the track, just avoids it. Kyle Shoemaker's 27 also in the mix there. So several cars damaged. Big scramble as they came out of turn 2.
Well, that'll definitely shuffle the order of goings on sort of deep in the field there as the pace car comes around to pick them up.
Let's get downstairs to Stephen Cox. He's with Mike Laughlin Jr.
Well, Mike Laughlin was not even able to make it all the way around the racetrack to come back into the normal pit entrance. Mike, what happened?
I don't know. I think transmission broke here on that restart or rear end. We're not sure yet. Really disappointed. You know, we had a car that could win this thing. We was out there just riding around, biding our time. I don't know, it hurt us in the points, but we've been running good, you know, stepping it up here these last 5. I just hate to go out like this, especially on these last 5 races, but we'll be back next year.
Well, Rick, these last few races at this racetrack have not been kind to him at all. In fact, he has 21 total starts here. Only twice now has he ever finished in the top 5 at USA International.
So this place certainly owes Mike Laughlin Jr. one, at least in his mind. But as you heard him say, the Laughlin Race Products team will be back in force in 2004. Safety car out, looking for a quick restart here. The lights are off on the pace car. Shane Huffman about to take him back to green at USA.
Just over 50 laps to the finish now, so we're really getting down to the money laps, and you got money drivers up front. By far the most notorious of them being Bobby Gill. If he can pick up an extra couple of bucks by winning this race, he's not going to settle for finishing second and doing it safely. It's the last race of the year. He's got all winter to fix it. He's going to go for the win. But Shane Huffman is a pretty tough customer as long as he's running out front like this.
Talk about fixing it. We saw Martin Nesbitt's 92 car. Nesbitt restarting third, putting down an incredible amount of smoke about 40 laps ago. Evidently, the physician has healed thyself. He's back at full cry up into third. We're being told from pit road that they've had a power steering pump problem. That would cause all the fluid, of course, to boil out and perhaps create that smoke. He may be manhandling that thing around with no power steering.
Well, power steering by Armstrong. We've always called it that. Whenever there's no assist, no mechanical assist, you just got to put your big beefy arms up on the wheel and hunker down and get it done. You know, like old school.
Martin Nesbitt is a big boy. He certainly's got plenty of upper body strength, and he's capable. Now here, of course, you are running fast. There are long straightaways. This is probably not as tough a place to steer a car without power steering as some other places you could run it.
Well, certainly not. There's not a lot of banking to help the car get around the corner, but indeed, once you get the thing set going into the corner, you can just kind of hang on to it, brace yourself against the seat and against whatever else is inside the cockpit. Just hold on to it, then feed it back coming onto the straightaway. Do it smooth. That's the really important thing. When you don't have that power steering assist, you have to be just a little bit more smooth about your motions on the wheel.
Great battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Scott Baker has gotten by Agnew. He's got 5th in the Talmadge Asphalt 11. The 6th position belongs to Agnew in the Hooters NGA car, and rookie Danny O'Quinn in the 02. Nice run to 7th. Keith Rogan, the Southern Road Builders, 94 on pit road. Right side tires and fuel for that team coming up on 50 laps to go. Up front, the battle still between Huffman and the 84. He's led most of the laps. Gill has had his turn out in front in the 5. And here comes Nesbitt in the 92. Marty Lindley sits in 4th spot. Then you've got the lap cars of Sarvis and Fogelman, 5th to the 11 of Scott Baker.
And top rookie, as we said, so his battle for the top rookie finisher is not over yet, but at least he's got the best of it for the moment. Danny O'Quinn Jr., 2 spots behind him. Those are 2 rookie drivers who have had outstanding seasons, especially Danny O'Quinn really made a mark, especially in the first part of the 2003 season.
A little further back, there's Clinton Rogers in the 16 car, ran 2nd early on. He's 8th right now, and right behind him, 9th spot belongs to the 44 of Benny Gordon. That's the Baird Ford. Gordon's 2nd in points, 2 championship series wins, hoping for lightning to strike and give him a shot at the championship here tonight. Your Goodyear full field summary with 50 to go. We just ran through the top 9 for you. 10th belongs to Hal Goodson. Buggy Fletcher hanging on in 11th. Jason Sarvis back there in 12th. And then the cars that are 2 laps down. Daniel Johnson in 16th. Michael Rich 17th. Joe Gaeta back in 21st. 3 laps down. Ahead of Curtis Davis, who's really struggled tonight. Hill and Burns 26th through 27th. And then you have the cars that have spent a lot of time on pit road. Danny Sammons has been back out after a couple of problems. Several drivers behind them all. Brian Ross was out way too early tonight. Vince Finello, young Joel Kaufman, first driver out in that 44.
And David Stover, who I misidentified as the spinning car, 31 laps down. He's had problems here tonight. We'll be back.
Welcome back on Speed. Coverage of the Hooters 300, the championship finale for 2003. USAR Hooters Pro Cup Race Series. Presented by Visti, USA International in Lakeland, Florida. Alongside Brian Trevor, I'm Rick Benjamin, Stephen Cox on pit road tonight. To wrap up the 2003 season. Watching the battle for 6th, Jeff Agnew in the 73 has had that spot, but Benny Gordon is on the move. Brian Trevor late in the going. Gordon up to 7th now. Needs to get around that 73 as quickly as he can.
Well, everybody needs to improve their positions, but Benny Gordon...
The 44 gets into the back end of Agnew's car, turns him slightly, but can't get by. Now he draws up alongside that Chevrolet. So Gordon using the chrome horn to try to pick up a spot here late in the going.
Well, and he does it. But again, you know, you see these very skillful, talented, and respectful drivers. If they've got a faster car, they're just going to go up there, give it a little nudge, turn the guy a little bit, but then back out, let him gather the car. By then he's scrubbed off a few miles an hour, and you can make the pass. A beautiful job by Benny Gordon. And Jeff Agnew's done it. He's had it done to him, but now he goes by quickly on the outside. Gordon fights back on the low line. Gets traction again, and we've got good side-by-side racing here for position.
The guy that really wants to see this start to develop is Danny O'Quinn in the 02 car back there. He could be the big beneficiary if the 44 and the 73 start leaning on each other, but Gordon will make the pass good. Agnew loose off the corner. Tires may have gone away in the 73.
And I'm not sure there was contact when Gordon got up behind him because Agnew's car is loose all by itself. Nobody touched him just then, and the back end tried to come around.
Did look as though there was some touching there. We'll have to go back and see if we can get another look at it. Gordon now has pulled around Agnew and opened up 3 car lengths on him. Up front, we saw Shane Huffman continuing to lead. Bobby Gill had drawn close to the 84 a couple of times. There is some lap traffic in play. I thought Gill would have a chance to get by there.
Well, when there is traffic, Bobby Gill is able to make up some ground. He's good at taking those tenths of a second in traffic. But when there's a clear track in front of Shane Huffman, his better... Oh, trouble. Yeah, we got
25 to go. Big impact on the back straightaway. Looks like Jimmy Burns involved there.
Yeah, and it was one of the Jackaroo cars, and it is indeed Burns in the 92. So he goes around, brings out a caution. That will put Bobby Gill on the back bumper of Shane Huffman. He's able to get close in traffic, but when Huffman's got a clean track, Huffman pulls away. He'll have a clean track on the restart as we start to wind down the laps here in this championship finale Hooters 300.
It's a short track Saturday night coming up because there were 25 to go in the yellow wave. We'll have a couple of laps under caution to clean up any debris, reset the field, and get everyone ready for what could be the final restart of the 2003 season. Huffman has to like this. He gets to run some laps under caution, hold on to the lead. It shortens up his window to get to the checkered flag.
And it gives him the clear track out in front that has proven to be to his advantage.
We'll be back in Lakeland. Back on Speed at USA International, the Hooters 300. Coming up on 20 laps to go. Safety car about to dive onto pit road. The green flag back in the air. Huffman in the 84, the pole sitter with a new track record tonight. On the verge of clinching his first USAR Hooters Pro Cup National Championship. But Bobby Gill would love to deny him the race win here tonight.
Well, and looking like at this point, I'd have to say smart money's on Huffman for his 8th win of the season to go along with 8 poles that he's earned during 2003. Naturally fresh field summary. Benny Gordon back in 6th. That does not bode well for his chances of taking the championship. He, as they say, needs a major disaster for leader Shane Huffman in order to get the job done.
Marty Lindley loose off turn 4. Bobby Gill hanging on to second. You've got to be impressed with Martin Desmond. If he's wheeling that 92 car minus power steering, he darn near got around Gill off that restart.
Whoa!
Oh,
There goes
Michael
the
Rich.
other Jackaroo car around. The 28 of Michael Rich is going to bring out a caution. Back-to-back cautions for the Jackaroo Sauces cars in the race here tonight.
Daniel Johnson's 56 with heavy nose damage. Looks as though he got into Rich as they went around. ground up there between 1 and 2. So 1 lap of green. The caution waves again here at USA International.
Well, the other thing I'm noticing is that on these restarts, they talk about cold tires. Well, they're really cold here tonight, and that is a problem. These guys have to be a little bit patient on the restarts. Give them at least a lap or a couple of turns, you know, feathering the thing around. But some of these guys are standing on the gas. The tires aren't hooking up, and around they go.
The Dodge Intrepid of Michael Rich getting turned. He's going to need some help to get that car straightened out and back onto the racetrack to try for the final run with the checkered flag. Even the Hooters girls struggling to keep warm on this 41-degree Saturday evening. Michael Rich, a little hot under the collar, I think. He's not cool at all. Here's another look. Johnson went around first. Then Rich went over the front of the car. That was the impact on the 56.
Well, that's why he's a little hot. You know, it was not his fault. He was doing what he could to avoid an incident and just got caught up in it despite his best effort to stay down on the low side. There's Johnson sideways. Rich goes by. He's got enough room, and Johnson just clips him on the way down.
Caught some air going through. Almost got up, well, not quite upside down, but certainly gained a lot of altitude he wasn't planning on in that incident in turn 1. So we're back under caution. That allows the field to slow it back down, realign for another restart at Lakeland. Back on speed, coming to the Hooters 300, the season championship finale. The USAR Hooters Pro Cup Tour, presented by Visting. 20 laps to go, and we're getting set to settle this thing. Brian Drebber, a lot of money on the line. Shane Huffman will be the restart pole sitter, staring at a $285,000 paycheck.
Well, that is certainly going to be the top honor here tonight if he's able to hold on and do it. But I'm also very impressed. Bobby Gill and Mark Nesbitt both are going to improve their fortunes by running in second and third. If they can hang on, they're going to move way up the standings and improve their paychecks for the evening as well.
Very quietly in that 92 car, Nesbitt may be turning in the drive of the night. We saw the smoke out of the car. Word is he's lost all the power steering fluid. 14 laps to settle it, and Huffman just pulling away from Bobby Gill.
Well, we've seen that before, and Shane Huffman, when he has a good car, you know, I think a lot of drivers will say when they have as good a car as Shane Huffman seems to have here tonight, it makes their job awful easy. It makes it a lot of fun when they can just drive along. Another caution.
13 to go. Keith Rogan's gotten into the wall hard. The front of the 94 heavily damaged. He'll get back on the button and drive that car around the pit road. But a quick caution once again here at USA International.
Well, he wrinkled the pavement on that Southern Road Builder's hood that time as Keith Rogan brings out a caution here late. We can't seem to get this one to run to the green. We had such a long run early in the race, which scattered the field. There you can see Rogan is going to have a lot of trouble seeing where he's going. And the Hooters girls are going to have to try to keep their hands warm just a little longer now as we're under caution waiting for the awards ceremony.
Series Marketing Director Bobby Todd checking his watch. Must have a plane to catch to get back home to Atlanta. Looks like this one could fall under the domain of the 10-lap rule. We might have to have a single-file restart here.
Well, and that would probably be just fine. It always is with the lead lap drivers. You know, having those lap cars down on the inside line, especially when they're fast lapped cars, like we saw Joe Gaeta's car was very quick. And, you know, it just creates an extra problem for him. Single file would be fine with the leaders, I'm sure.
Back on speed, less than 10 laps remain of the Hooters 300 to settle things. The 2003 USAR Pro Cup Championship on the line. Brian Drebber, Shane Huffman looks to be very much in command as we get set for a restart.
But if you're a fan, you've got to love Bobby Gill. 8 laps to go, right behind Shane Huffman, not for the championship, but for the win in the final race of the season here. Benny Gordon back a few spots. Is you know, apparently his chances of a championship are slim, hovering between slim and none here. It's going to take a major disaster in the final 8 laps, and with so few cars on the lead lap, Shane Huffman's chances of losing this championship are pretty small indeed.
Benny Gordon will restart in 6th. He needs lightning to strike. 8 to go. We're back underway, and it's Huffman down into 1. Gill runs 2nd. Nesbitt, Marty Lindley is 4th. Scott Baker 5th. Your Naturally Fresh Foods top 10 with 8 remaining. Jeff Agnew has fallen back to 10th spot.
Well, and those are lead lap cars, so it is possible if Huffman were to have a disaster to fall off the lead lap, finish worse than 8th, which we said is what he needed coming into this race, and for Benny Gordon to still take the championship. But the way Huffman's running, and there's no danger when there's 8 laps to go and you're out in front by yourself.
Clean air, clean racetrack, just what you like to see. Nothing in the windshield, but a big check hanging out there with almost $300,000.
And wouldn't you love to be a little birdie on the radio listening to what, if anything, his crew is telling him at this point? I mean, look at the say, the guy's out in front. He's in control of his own destiny. There's not a lot of decisions to be made aside from don't put it in the wall.
Bobby Gill falling further and further behind in the Triple Diamond Jet Center 5. He has given it everything he's got tonight. Gill has led laps here. It's been one of his best performances of the championship run, but it will not be enough, it appears, here tonight. 5 laps to go. 5 to go for Shane Huffman, a young driver on the verge of his greatest achievement in racing.
Absolutely, and he's been so quick to give credit to his team and how they work their tails off is the expression that he uses. Always thanks his sponsors, but you know what? He's got a lot of talent behind the wheel. As hard as the crew works, as good as the car is, it won't do a thing until a talented young driver like Shane Huffman gets hunkers down in the seat and puts it through its paces.
And you know the thing I've liked about watching him these last several weeks, especially when the championship has become more and more part of everyone's thinking, he stayed focused on the goal. He hasn't let anything distract him. Benny Gordon has given him a great battle and a great run. Gordon trying to get 5th away from Scott Baker, but Huffman has just been able to keep all that in the background and keep his eye on the big prize.
Absolutely, also very true. And Benny Gordon has certainly made his mark. You know, he may not come away with a championship. He may not make history as the 2nd driver to win Top Rookie and the championship, but he has certainly opened a lot of eyes and has had a lot of reason to be proud and hold his head up high here at the end of this 2003 season too.
Coming up on 2 laps to go the next time by. Down into the first corner, Huffman in the Genio Turkey Store Ford. Gill in the Triple Diamond Jet Center car right behind him, but about 10 car lengths back in second. What could be more fitting on Thanksgiving weekend than a Turkey Store car to win the big prize?
Well, you'd have to say that of all the ironies, that one just falls right into place. The white flag is out. One more error-free lap, 4 corners to glory here, and a $285, make it $286,000 payday if you do the math. And these guys don't want to watch. I love that. They don't even want to watch. The car's behind them. They're looking the other way. If there's a terminal noise in the universe, they'll hear it at this point.
1 turn to go. Shane Huffman out of 4, all alone to the checkered flag. Shane Huffman is the winner in the 2003 USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series national champion. He picks up nearly $300,000 tonight. He led most of the laps by far. A dominant run.
And you can bet that he's buying, because these guys are sharing and celebrating when this one is all over. And what a great way to go to a championship, winning the final race of the season. You know, every series champion would like to go out like that. This time it happens in Hooters Pro Cup. The winner of the championship wins the last race of the year on top of that. 3 out of the 5 championship races to be exact, and earns a huge payday.
More than $10,000 for the race win, $25,000 the bonus money for winning 3 of the 5 championship races, the $250,000 point fund championship. Fireworks go off here at Lakeland, and you can see Benny Gordon pull up alongside Huffman. They give each other the thumbs up, congratulating one another on a hard-fought battle, and burnouts galore. Certainly the smoke show will be put on here by Shane Huffman tonight at USA International.
He's going to put more laps on those tires than he did leading 220 out of 300 laps here tonight. He'll burn them up. You don't need those 2 anymore. Put on a show for the fans. Fireworks in the air, fireworks on the track too.
Fans very happy to see Shane Huffman go to victory lane. Brian, I think you nailed it when you said this is the way any driver would like to win a championship. Win the final race of the season, bag the title in the bargain. No one leaves with any doubt about who the best driver and team was all season long.
You know, you lead over 2,100 laps during the course of the year. You win 8 times. You earn 8 pole positions. You know, Ryan Newman has had a season like that, but he didn't win a championship. And this time, Shane Huffman does everything that a champion should do in the eyes of the fans. Congratulations to him.
Benny Gordon cutting some celebratory burnouts up in turn 4 as well to mark his claiming of the Rookie of the Year prize, as well as 2 of the 5 championship race victories. So a terrific season for the driver from Moncks Corner, South Carolina. His first year in Pro Cup racing. Certainly a year to remember for Benny Gordon and his brother Todd.
7 times the top rookie finisher, the Miller Lite Rookie of the Race, once winning a Hard Charger award, 2 victories, both coming in the championship part of the season at the end. And so Benny Gordon, yes indeed, has put his name in the record book in a very impressive way. Great things to come from this young driver in the future as well.
Well, it certainly has been an outstanding season of racing for the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Tour. Bigger and better things on the way in 2004. 30 races on Speed Channel, Thursday nights at 8. A return to Thursday night prime time for our coverage here on Speed. BF Goodrich Radial Tires for all the teams in 2004 and for many, many years to come. A lot of great things are in store, and we certainly look forward to bringing it to you here on Speed. The celebration about to continue as the fireworks continue to be displayed here at USA International Speedway. Season opener February 28th of 2004. Make your plans now and be sure to think about ordering your tickets soon. Benny Gordon heading to victory lane as well, because he is going to receive some honors here tonight. But Shane Huffman is unbuckled and about to climb out of that Genio Turkey Store Ford.
Scott Baker, the top rookie finisher for the race. Benny Gordon, the top rookie finisher for the season. And Shane Huffman concludes a command performance in 2003 with a win, the championship, and he'll get the biggest honors of all when he does climb out of that car in victory lane.
USAR officials on hand to greet Shane Huffman, who led 220 laps, as Brian pointed out, in a dominant run. We'll come back and talk to the new champion next.
USAR Hooters Pro Cup Racing has been brought to you by Hooters, the cure for the common restaurant. Naturally fresh salad dressing. Look for it in your supermarket's produce section. Miller Lite is the official sponsor of the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series. Lucas Oil, the official lubricant of USAR.
Back on Speed at USA International, Shane Huffman wins the season finale, the Hooters 300, and the USAR Pro Cup national title. He's with Stephen Cox in victory lane.
So once again, he dominates a race. He is fast in practice. He is quickest in qualifying, and you come out and absolutely show him how it's done one more time. Shane Huffman, congratulations, your 8th win, and you are the Hooters Pro Cup champion. What do you have to say for yourself, guy?
Oh man, it's been a long road. I tell you, we fought hard all year. These guys, we had kind of a terrible year last year, really. And we regrouped over the winter. We went back to Mike Laughlin's and worked on these chassis, and we've always had good motors, automotive specialists, and Genio Turkey Store put the money in behind us, to do the job. And I just got to thank the good Lord. All those guys standing up there on that wall right there, they're a big part of this, and couldn't be here without them. Just man, I'm ecstatic right now.
Talk about the last 2 races. In the second and third races of the championship series, you all but disappeared, and then you came back. From where and how?
Well, we didn't really disappear. We was leading, at Myrtle Beach most of the race, and just got in a wreck on a green-white checkered, and at Jennerstown, I kind of made a mistake and cost, I really felt bad for these guys, and just kind of screwed up a little bit. But we rebounded. We knew we could. These guys dug deep. I tell you what, they about talked me out of winning this race tonight. Though they had me in conservative mode all night. And I was about to let Bobby go by me, and I said, the caution come out, and I said, the heck with this, I'm gonna race, and so I just got up on the wheel, and the car wasn't the best, but it was good enough at the end.
Congratulations, Shane. It'll sink in a minute.
Shane Huffman ecstatic in victory lane, the 2003 Hooters Pro Cup national champion, as we take a look at the order of finish tonight here at USA International in Lakeland. Huffman the winner, Gil Nesbitt, Marty Lindley, and Scott Baker the first 5.
A trio of rookies, Baker, Gordon, and Danny O'Quinn in the top 10, with Hal Goodson, Clay Rogers, and Jeff Agnew rounding out that top 10.
Second 10, Jason Sarvis struggles home 11th ahead of Stephen Christian, perhaps in his final USAR Pro Cup start. David Pletcher, Fogelman up to 14th, Derek Kelly. Curtis Davis rounds out the top 20, just behind our colleague Scott Sutherland.
And a terrific finish for the season here. And again, I can't emphasize enough how fitting it is that the champion wins the last race and that he goes to a championship title by winning 8 races during the course of the season, including 3 in the championship series. Way to go, Shane Huffman. That's how you get it done.
As we look at the second half of the order of finish here tonight at USA International, teams loading up. Benny Gordon, strong top 10 tonight. Didn't quite have enough to take the championship, but a terrific season that pays off with Rookie of the Year honors in the USAR Pro Cup Series. He's with Steven.
Well, he needed a perfect run and a little bit of luck. He got a very good run instead. And Benny Gordon, congratulations. Not good enough for the championship, but good enough for the rookie title. Is it kind of bittersweet?
Yeah, I swear, we finished 6th, but we had a blast tonight. I had a blast. I had to race hard all night, and I didn't have good track position. I didn't have a good car early in the runs, which is unusual for me. And the car started off real tight, but it came to, and I backed up, and then I come back towards the front, and I did it, I think, 3 or 4 times tonight. So I had a blast racing. Billy Hess's car worked really good, and Jeff Dorton's motor run really good. And I swear, we didn't win the championship. Shane did a good job, won the bonus, won all the money. But heck, you know, he's been in it a long time. This is our first year. I think this might be our 15th race in this series. So we're all excited. No one's depressed around here. We had a good time, and I enjoyed the race tonight. I had a blast racing.
So Benny Gordon with a lot to be thankful for as we cap off the 2003 season. Scott Baker wins your Miller Lite Rookie of the Race honors, came from 16th to 5th. Got to the top 10 early, hung in there, and put on a great run tonight. Your Hard Charger prize, Martin Nesbitt gained 16 spots.
And he gained 3 spots by my count in the championship as well, so he charged up through the standings. Bobby Gill doing even a little bit better than that, finishing 2nd and 3rd and moving up in the points. There they are, Gill in 7th, and for Martin Nesbitt, he moved up to 5th.
Jay Fogelman just nipped by a point, getting into the top 5 in the final standings. Christian finishes in 8th spot. Brian Ross, Jason McClellan, 11th and 12th. Curtis Davis, Clay Rogers, Michael Rich, the rest of the top 15. Scott Baker tied with Danny O'Quinn in 16th spot. Joe Gaeta ends up rounding out the top 20 in points. Let's take a look back at the 5 championship series races. First, round 1 in Winchester. The victory to Shane Huffman got his title drive off to a huge start. Round 2, Benny Gordon's first career victory. It was a big win at Jennerstown for Benny Gordon, and he backed it up the next time out when the series went to Myrtle Beach. Drama at the end, a green-white checkered finish. Shane Huffman and Gordon came together. Huffman's night ended up against the wall. Gordon went to victory lane, but at Peach State on Sunday afternoon, Huffman back to victory lane. And then tonight at USA International, Shane Huffman dominates, leads all but 80 of the 300 laps to score his first career championship in the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series. We want to offer a big thanks for the participation all season long by great USAR sponsors like Best Golf Cars, Racing Electronics, and a host of others. It's been a pleasure to bring you our coverage all season long. As always, all the motorsports news you need on the website, which is speedtv.com. For Stephen Cox, Brian Drebber, and our entire Hubbard Productions team, I'm Rick Benjamin. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on Speed.
We're going to Hooters to celebrate, but I'm not riding with him, and I'm going in a separate car.